today, okay? So the first one is smooth shading, second one is scumbling, then there's cross hatching, and then there is stippling. Okay, and we're going to go through each of those today, and then I will send you off and you will practice on your own. Okay, this is one thing that we will do a lot in this class, so it is very important for you to learn. Okay, we will actually do smooth shading most of the time, especially in Art 1, because these get a little more advanced as they go. But I'm going to teach you all of them today. So the first thing you need is your drawing pencil. Okay. Now, these are nice because they're really soft and easy to use. Okay. So instead of like using a mechanical pencil, use these instead. Okay. I will have these available. It gives you a much nicer value than it would with a mechanical pencil. Okay. Now on your value scale, I have it labeled dark to light. Okay. Now, what do you think the darkest value you can absolutely have on something? Black. Okay. And then the lightest is white. Okay. So on the value scale, we are going to do steps. So you're going to, in this square here, we're going to shade in as dark as possible as we can with what we are using. So I kind of use my pencil kind of on the side like this. Okay, so it uses most of the side of the lead here. Okay, so when you are doing smooth shading, you are going to go nice and smooth, okay, with your pencil. So in this box, you're going to color in this box here as dark as you can get it. Okay, this will be your darkest value on your value scale. I kind of fill it in and then I'll re-go over it. Okay, and get it as filled in as you can. Because the pencil is technically not completely black, you won't get it as dark as you think. Shh, can you stop? Okay, so once you have that, what we do is we move down the value scale. So we're actually going to leave this last value just blank. Okay, so we are going to do the 4 steps in between. So as you move down the value scale, you are going to lighten up on your pencil. So you're not going to push as hard. Okay, so I'm going to lighten up, do the same thing, nice and smooth all the way across. Okay, it's easier to start lighter than it is to go darker. Okay, so I'm going to go light and then slowly start to press a little harder here and get it to the value I want. Okay, which is a step below the darkest value you have here. Okay, so now we'll continue down the value scale until we get to our lightest value. So you can continue, same thing, lighten up on your pencil, a step below the last. So you're just going to get lighter, lighter, and lighter until you are basically at the white. All right, the next technique is called scumbling. Okay, you still use a pencil, but instead of having the nice and smooth value across your value scale, you're actually going to create little like scribbles, okay? So you can do it different ways. You can do like a bunch of circles. Okay, you can do like C's, like that. You can do figure eights, just build them up. Okay, I just kind of like to scribble like a bunch of circles like that. Okay, so when you are doing your darkest value, the more scribbles you have, the darker the value it is going to be. Okay, so as you do this, I'm going to put a little bit of pressure on my pencil and just start filling up my square with a bunch of little scribbles. Okay, so I'm going to fill it up till the white in the background is pretty much gone. Okay, and make sure it's as dark as you can get it. Okay, with this you'll get a little bit of texture in there with the little scribbles instead of like this nice and smooth. Okay, so it kind of gives it a different effect. All right. So as you move down a step, you're going to line up on your pencil again and not just do as many scribbles over the top. Okay, so I'm going to line up on my pencil. Now, because it is the little scribbles, you're going to see more white coming through the back of your paper here. Okay, that is what you want. So lighten up on the pencil. And don't do as many scribbles. Okay, so as you move down, you're going to do the same thing. Line up on your pencil, and I'm going to kind of start to separate out my scribbles. Okay, line up. I'm not going to do as many until I pretty much get about there. Okay. All right, for the last two, we're going to use the Sharpie. Okay. All right, now cross-hatching is what it sounds like. It's crossing lines over itself, okay? So it's going to be like a pattern kind of like this, where you have lines going one direction, and then you're going to go over the top like that, okay? So same concept with the scumbling. The more lines you have together and built up over the top, the darker it will be, okay? So what I do is I go one direction first here on my square. And I kind of do a quick kind of scratch with the lines, okay? I'm going to go back over it again, add a little more. Okay? Then I'm going to go the opposite direction and cross over the top. Okay, and I'm going to keep doing this a couple times until I get my nice dark value. Okay. Now, when you move to the next value, you're going to do less lines. Okay. And you're going to start to separate them out. So I'm going to start to I'll go one direction. Notice how my lines have a little more gap to them here. Okay. Go the opposite direction. I'm going to go back over it. Okay, and you put as many lines in there until you have your desired looking value. Okay, so if you can continue down, do less, separate them out. All right, now the last one is called stippling. Okay, and what you do is you're taking your Sharpie and you're going to create value using very tiny dots. Okay. Now, I mean, it kind of makes sense. I don't know what it sounds like. All right. Yes, it is. Okay, so just like before, the more dots you have together, the darker the value. Okay. Now, when I do this, make sure your hand stays on the table and you're just lightly just tapping the Sharpie. Okay. I shouldn't hear any noise. If I hear noise coming from the Sharpie, then that means you're breaking it. Okay. These are very easy to split in half. So you don't have very nice circles. You'll have like ugly like crescent shaped moon shapes. Okay. Now when I also do this, I don't really go in an order. I just kind of tap around and just make it very random. Okay. I think it makes it look better and it separates out the dots a little more. Okay. So it gives you a better looking value. Okay. So as you move down, you're going to do less dots and start to separate them out.
You should have said what's up, Jay. I didn't know. I didn't know to do that. Jesus. You ran. My dad. No, Jesus. Jesus, stupid. Jesus Christ, I was there. You were here on Friday. Yeah. You was here Friday. Yeah, but I didn't do the color thing. Yeah, Mitch was at home. Yeah. It's Mickey Mouse. Yeah.
All right, so those are the 4 techniques that you will need to know. Okay?